Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivashari Go Bhakta Vinda Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Gaura Haribo. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahanta Paribhajikacharya Ashtottara Satashi Simhad Abhaya Charana Ravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada ki Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatm ki Nitai Gaur Premanandi. Glory to the assembled devotees, glory to the assembled devotees, all glory to the assembled devotees, glory to Shri Guru Shri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. Today reading from 6th Canto, chapter 17. 16, 17, yeah. Text number 22. Natasya kaschid daita padipo na ghyati bandhu na paro na chasva samasya sarvatra niranjanasya Sukena ragha kute varosha Natasya kaschid daita padipo Nagyati bandhu na paro na chasva Samasya sarvatra niranjanasya Sukena ragha kuta eva rosha Sarvatra niranjanasya Sukena raga kute varosha Natasya kaschid daita padipo
Vaishnav Devi.
Vaishnavi. Suke naraga kute varosha na not tasya of him, the Supreme Lord, kaschit anyone, daita dear, patipa not dear, na nor, gyati kinsman, bandhu friend, na nor, para other, na nor, cha also, swa own, samasya who is equal, sarvatra everywhere, niranjanasya without being affected by material nature, suke in happiness, na not, raga attachment, kuta from where, eva indeed, rosha anger. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is equally disposed toward all living entities. Therefore, no one is very dear to him, and no one is a great enemy for him. No one is his friend, and no one is his relative. Being unattached to the material world, he has no affection for so-called happiness or hatred for so-called distress. The two terms, happiness and distress, are relative. Since the Lord is always happy, for him there is no question of distress. So I'll read the next verse. Tatapi tachakti visaga esham sukhaya dukha. Okay, so we can repeat it one time. Tatapi tachakti visaga esham sukhaya dukhaya hita hitaya bandhaya mokshaya namittu janmano sharirinam samsritate vakalpate. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Although the Supreme Lord is unattached to our happiness and distress according to karma, and although no one is his enemy or favorite, he creates pious and impious activities through the agency of his material potency. Thus, for the continuation of the materialistic way of life, he creates happiness and distress, good fortune and bad, bondage and liberation, birth and death. Purport. Although the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the ultimate doer of everything, in his original transcendental existence, he is not responsible for the happiness and distress, or bondage or liberation of the conditioned souls. These are due to the results of fruitive activities of the living entities within this material world. By the order of a judge, one person is released from jail and another is imprisoned. But the judge is not responsible for the distress and happiness of these different people is due to their own activities. Although the government is ultimately the supreme authority, the justice is administered by the departments of the government, and the government is not responsible for the individual judgments. Therefore, the government is equal to all citizens. Similarly, the Supreme Lord is neutral to everyone, for the maintenance of law and order, his supreme government has various departments which control the activities of the living entities. Another example given in this regard is that lilies open or close because of the sunshine, and thus the bumblebees enjoy or suffer. But the sunshine and the sun globe are not responsible for the happiness and distress of the bumblebees. Om Jnana-timirandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshurumiritam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Vichaitanya-manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pastyatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So before I begin, I offer whatever humble service I can do in this Srimad Bhagavatm class to Srila Gopal Krishna Goswami, who made it possible that we could have this temple, to have this class, and to have this wonderful area, and have the association of all of you through his tireless efforts. Of course, efforts of many devotees, many of his god brothers, but still, he was the main conduit, the main person who channeled. Conduit means to channel Krishna's energy for the benefit of all the devotees. So we will certainly miss him, but a devotee lives on by his words, his deeds, his actions, and his transcendental reputation. So, anyway, I'll try to say something meaningful. So these two verses spoken by Chitraketu, he's responding to the curse that he was given. And he's actually teaching. He's teaching Parvati the science of Krishna consciousness. This is the wonderful thing about Krishna consciousness, is that one's advancement is not according to one's position, but one's advancement is according to one's consciousness. Otherwise, who is Chitraketu in the hierarchy of this universe compared to Parvati, wife of Lord Shiva? But he's very dear to Krishna. What does it take to be very dear to Krishna? Advaisha sarvabhutanam. The first thing that Krishna says is that we are free from envy. This is the first thing. Then, maitra karuna eva cha. If you're free from envy, then you can see everyone as your friend. If you're not free from envy, you will see everyone as a competition. This is my let me eliminate this competition. Anyone who worships me, oh, they're very nice. Anyone who honors me, they're very wonderful. But anyone who has some qualities that apparently I don't have, although I have them, but I just don't want to demonstrate them. So this is the pride of the living entity. So, but Chitraketu has no pride. This whole section and his instructions here are instructing us to act as Chitraketu is acting. And therefore, especially these two verses and some of the previous verses are very important, because he's teaching us, as Krishna teaches in Bhagavad Gita, tam vichikshava, that one should be free from the dualities of material existence. That this is the essence of Krishna consciousness. In the 11th canto of the Bhagavatam, so many different verses speak about duality and how we have to rise above duality. Because duality brings about all these things that Chitraketu is negating from Krishna, about Krishna, in the first verse that we read, and especially it says he's equally disposed to everyone, and therefore no one is very dear to him. What about Srimati Radharani? What about Sridham? What about Raktak? What about Surabhi? They're so dear to him. This is in the category of rasa. In the category of rasa, everything is completely different from the category of tattva. So here we're speaking, Chitraketu is speaking about the tattva because he's teaching tattva. He's teaching that what is the hierarchy of truth in this world. And in that hierarchy of tattva, Krishna is equal to everyone. Therefore, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that therefore Krishna cannot give bhakti. No, he cannot give bhakti because he has to be equal. He has to be equal to the devotees and the demons, or demigods and demons. Sometimes the demigods win, sometimes the demons win, according to their sacrifice. So this is very difficult for common people to understand. Even sometimes as neophyte devotees, we have trouble understanding the actions of Krishna. He says, no one is his enemy. Well, what about Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha, all these people, Rukmi, Shishupal, they declared themselves enemies of Krishna, but they were not Krishna's enemies. So it's easy to see that in relation to Krishna. But Chitraketu is speaking this because he's relating it to himself. Why is he not disturbed by this curse? And later on we'll see in a few later verses, Parvati is bewildered. How can I just cursed him to be a demon, and he's smiling. He's thanking me. He's saying yes. Actually, in the next verse, he will chastise Parvati a little bit. But so she cannot believe this. And therefore we see materialistic people cannot understand what we as followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are doing. Just like many times I've mentioned how one interviewer asked Srila Prabhupada, why are you making all these young boys and girls suffer so much? They're doing all these sacrifices. This is for older people. This is not for younger people. And Prabhupada said that what is old? And he said, well, 60, at that time, maybe 60. Nowadays, old is like 80, but old at that time was about 60, 65. Old is getting farther. But then we go to the Bhagavatam second canto. People may live longer. Trees live a long time. But what is the use of living a long time if you just stand there, just like Manigriva and Nalakupara? They were cursed to be trees. And while they were trees, certainly it wasn't very enjoyable. But they had to do this austerity, this sacrifice. Narada Muni gave them the blessing of being engaged in sacrifice and austerity so that they could receive the Supreme Personality of Godhead properly. So, and then, now, no one is his friend, no one is his relative. Bhishma, he said the same thing to the Pandavas, that you're thinking Krishna is Matuliyatam, that he's your cousin, or that he's Priyam Mitram, he is your very dear friend, or Surittama, he is your benefactor. You're thinking all these things. But actually, he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sachivam, that he's your counselor. Dutam, he was your messenger. And Saratim, Partha Sarati, he's your chariot driver. But he's none of these things. Otherwise, when you think of Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he doesn't occupy any of these positions. Therefore, rasa is enacted by Yoga Maya, so that the Pandavas could have Krishna in all of these, and enjoy these relationships with Krishna. Just like Yashoda, when she was chastising Krishna, Balaram said, "You've been eating dirt. Let me see in your mouth." Krishna said, no, let me see. So Krishna thought, my mother wants to see dirt, I will show her unlimited dirt. I will show her unlimited material elements. And she became bewildered. Is Krishna really my son? She began to think very philosophically. Just like a mother doesn't think philosophically about her son. She doesn't think, oh, my son is wandering in the roadway. There are so many cars. But if it's his destiny to be killed by a car, then I should not stop it. No, she will never think like that. I mentioned the other day, my mother told me that when I was young, when I was like 3 years old, I would walk out in the middle of the highway and sit down and watch the cars go by, And of course she would, run out like screaming. Cars would be screeching, because they didn't see me. I was just a little boy. Looked like some piece of wood in the road or something. So, but no mother will think like that. That, it's just his karma. He gets sick, that's his karma. No. So this is rasa. Rasa is so wonderful. But when we experience that rasa in relation to the modes of material nature, we become confused. And therefore, Chitraketu is differentiating the position of the living entity and the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The living entity is submerged in duality. affected by all these things, good and bad, happiness and distress, all these things. In the Bhagavatam, it says about good and bad that that good and bad, what does it actually mean? That kim badram, kim abhadram vai. What is really good and bad? Bhagavatam says that these are just conceptions that we have, that vasya vituna kriyat. These are created by the modes of material nature. And then vachuti tam tat anasu. They have nothing to do. The words that we speak when we're controlled by the modes of material nature establish good and bad. Otherwise we name things. We give things a name. This is good, this is bad. Manasa dhatum eva cha. Manasur dhatum eva cha. Or in the mind, we think something is very good and bad. This is the function of the mind. That yat karma sankalpa vikalpanam mano. The mind is always thinking that this is good or this is bad according to the condition of the intelligence. But when the intelligence is bewildered by the modes of material nature and by the duality of this world, avidyamano yabibhata hidvayo, that this is avidya. This is when avidya becomes manifest, when we think in terms of duality. Then dhyam dhyatur swapna manoreto yata. Then we think that there is a sleeping condition and an awakened condition in this world. But actually, they are both a sleeping condition. One is sleeping at the nighttime, the other is sleeping in the daytime. Everyone in this material world, they sleep at nighttime and they recognize this is sleeping. But they don't see that making all of my material plans and all of my material activities, it's also sleeping. It's completely ignorant. Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur, he said that people who do not have Krishna consciousness, they are zombies. They are like dead, they are dead people walking. They are dead people acting. They are actually not, they're totally asleep. So the living entity in this condition, and therefore the Bhagavatam says that we have to wake up from this condition. Budyo niridyat abhayam tatasyat. That by awakening the intelligence, and how do we awaken the intelligence? Shrinvan subhadrani vatanga panir. Everything becomes auspicious when ratangapani, the Bhagavatam, in this particular part of the Bhagavatam, it says Krishna is ratangapani. So what is that? Everything becomes auspicious when you see Krishna in that role of the devotee being so dear to him. Just as Arjuna was so dear to Krishna that when Bhishma, of course Bhishma knew what would happen. He challenged Arjuna, and Krishna could see Arjuna is no way he can compete with Bhishma. But what did Bhishma? Bhishma didn't want to defeat Arjuna. Actually, after that happened, Duryodhana chastised Bhishma. I said in the beginning that you would be partial. Why didn't you kill him? And Bhishma, Krishna interfered. Krishna broke his promise. Ratangapani means that Krishna is willing to do anything for his devotee. So everything becomes auspicious. Janmani karmani chayani loke. And therefore a devotee is always glorifying the birth and the activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Gitani karmani cha artakani. And always singing and praising and acting according to this understanding of the Lord and His transcendental activities. The devotee, Gayan Bilajo Vicharet Asangaha. A devotee without any hesitation wanders throughout this material world glorifying the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And this is called sankirtana. We wander throughout the streets of Delhi or streets of any big city without caring what do people think. No. I just simply want to give them Krishna consciousness. That is my desire, whatever they think. No. So this is what Chitraketu is explaining here. Krishna himself says this, Samoham sarvabhutanam namitva priya. No one is dear to me, and no one is in any way do I have any negativity or positivity toward anyone. So this is his declaration. This is my position. But, no, e bachanti tumam bhaktya. But if someone worships me with devotion, otherwise he said, I'm neutral to everyone. But if someone worships me, then we may accuse him, oh, you're being partial to your devotee. No, you're being partial. No, anyone can worship me. I'm just saying anyone who worships me, whoever it is. No, just like Chitraketu would become a great demon. But that great demon worships the Lord, and he will be favored by the Lord. More than Indra. He had to instruct Indra how to kill him. You have to kill me. Please kill me. I want to go back home, back to Godhead. No. This is a devotee, not attached to living or dying or anything in this material world. No. Simply wanting to serve Krishna. So, Maitateshu chapyaham. That person is very dear to me, and I am very dear to them. So, Krishna declares everything. If you want to relate to Krishna, there's only one way. Not by pious activities, no, and not by impious activities. No. When Lord Nrsimhadev instructed Prahlad Maharaj, take some blessing. Prahlad Maharaj didn't want to take any blessing. No. So he said that you must take some blessing. Well then, please give liberation to my father. That's already done. You did that. I'm not doing that. You did that already. Not only him, but so many generations and so many descendants of you. So many predecessors and so many descendants. They're already liberated by your devotion. Therefore, ask me for something. And then he said, my dear Lord, I don't want anything. I just want your devotional service. And then the Lord said, no, then I will give you something. You won't ask for it, I'll give it to you. What you do? You should perform austerities to eliminate all of your impious activities. Although he had no impious activity. No. But because he was born in a demoniac family. So Lord Nrsimhadev said, no, otherwise you just be a devotee and that you will eliminate that. And you must enjoy. I'm making you the king of the demons. If you become the king of the devotees, or you become the king of the Vaishnavas, then you may do austerities. So I want you to be the king of the demons so you can enjoy this world. And then you will eliminate all of your pious activity. So Lord Nrsimhadev was teaching us, we don't want good and we don't want bad. No. Good and bad in this material world, and this is expressed here in this verse. No. That where it says, Sukhe naraga kuto eva roshaha, that for the Lord there was no question of distress. Now, why does Chitraketu have to declare this? Then we go to the 9th canto. No, Lord Ramachandra, he's apparently in distress. Sita Devi has been stolen. He's in distress. No. So therefore, it is declared here and in the 9th canto. And so many, the Lord has no distress. As rasa increases, just like, what is the distress of Matsya? No, there's no distress. There's no happiness, there's no distress. But as the rasa increases, as the Lord becomes more and more personal in relation to his devotees, he is apparently in distress. And especially in the form of, just like it appeared that Vamanadev would be in distress. It appeared that he would be in distress. Because he was given a blessing, and it appeared that he would be in distress, but he was not distressed. He put Bali Maharaj in distress. No. Why did the Lord put his devotee into distress? To show that a devotee is not affected by distress. Just as the Lord on the transcendental platform, always situated, Prakriti Parama Purusha, that he is beyond all material energy. Then his devotee also, the Lord wanted to show his devotee. Actually, his daughter was very attracted to Vamanadev. She thought, I want to have a son like him. I would like to have a son like him. Let him become my son. No. She prayed to the Lord. Let him become my son. He's so beautiful. He's so wonderful. But then when he chastised her father, her material duality came into mind. No, let him be poisoned. And therefore she took birth as Putana. No, that I will try to poison him. He will be my son, and I will try to poison him. No. And neither one worked very well for her. But just by having that thought, that intense thought, because her desire was so intense to have Krishna as her son, she was promoted to Goloka Vrindavan. No, to be an assistant of Yashoda Mai. No. So, if we can just have that intense moment, and therefore our acharyas and our shastras say, if you can chant without offenses, and the example is a Jamil, the classic example. If you can chant one time without offenses, you will be elevated to such a great platform that just like a Jamil, because of his sinful activities, he had to go to Hardwar and perform some austerities, but in pure consciousness. And then he went back home, back to Godhead. So, all of these things, happiness and distress, the two terms happiness and distress are relative. They're spoken of in the previous verse, happiness and distress. And then, but the Lord has no happiness and distress. But in the next verse, which Srila Prabhupada has a wonderful purport, yes, the Lord is completely unattached to our happiness and stress, but he gives it to us. He gives it to us through his energies. Parasya Shaktir Vividhaya Vashuyate. Because the Lord, Natasya Karyam Karanam Cha Vidyate, the Lord has nothing to do. Natat Shamas Chabikastra Jushate. No one can compete with him. No one can be even a good second. No one can be equal to him. He has nothing to do. But his energies, they're working all the time. Swabhaviki Gyanabala Kriya Cha. His energies are performing everything for him so that he can be free to be in Goloka Vrindavan. Many times I made the point also that Lord Vishnu in the form of Mahavishnu. He's maintaining unlimited universes, and everything that is going on in those universes is being maintained by him, by his expansion. Well, how much effort does he have to make? He's sleeping? No. That's how. Why does Mahavishnu sleep when he does it? To show us that the Lord, it's no effort. Krishna picked up Govardhan with his little finger of the left hand. Of course, Madhu Mangal took the credit. No. He said, no, because he wanted to relieve Yashoda Mai of her distress. Krishna, no, she wanted to massage his arm, and you know, she was telling his friends, help him. And Madhu Mangal said, don't worry, Mataji. He's just faking it. No, he's just pretending. I'm doing this by my Brahminical tejas. No, Brahma tejas. No, he's not doing this. No. So, but Krishna does everything effortlessly. But for his devotee, even the most insignificant devotee, he will make the greatest sacrifice. No. Lord Nrsimhadev came and killed Hiranyakashipu. How many times the Lord comes and kills someone who's trying to cause distress to his devotee? But sometimes the Lord allows distress so that a devotee can become detached from happiness and distress. Or the topmost pure devotee shows. We saw Srila Prabhupada. How much distress was Srila Prabhupada put into? No. Or with our beloved Gopal Krishna Maharaj. How much sacrifice did he have to do to create this zone and to manage this zone? How much sacrifice? But he didn't see it as sacrifice. He saw it as opportunity, as service. No. And this is the position of the Vaishnava. No. And when happiness comes, a devotee, dukeshvanu dugdha mana sukeshu vigata spriyaha. Krishna says that when there is distress, a devotee's mind is never agitated. And when there's happiness, also his mind is not agitated. No. Vitaraga bhaya krodha. And by having this freedom from duality, a devotee frees himself from all attachment, all fear, and all anger. These things are very dangerous in the material world. It's stated in the 7th chapter of the 1st canto of the Bhagavatam, when Vyasadeva is meditating on the instructions that were given by Narada Muni. He meditates and he sees that the living entity is totally transcendental but is bewildered by identifying with Maya. And then anartho parshanam sakshat. But the devotee can become free from all these anarthas and all these things, no, by worshiping the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, yasyam vai shriyamanayam. And how do we become advanced? How do we become surrendered to Krishna? By always hearing about Krishna. Krishna Parama Purushe. Seeing Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then bhakti upadyatam pumsam. Then when bhakti begins to sprout within the heart, that moha shoka vayapaha, then illusion and bewilderment and lamentation and fear are all eliminated from the heart of the living entity. So this is our position. So the Lord, in the form of Ramachandra, he appears to be distressed. Lord Chaitanya appears to be distressed. No, just like when Lord Chaitanya was speaking with Swarup Damodar and Ramananda Roy, he said, "Let me reveal my distress to you." No, you've been attributing to me elevated symptoms of bhakti, but now I have to reveal the truth. I have no devotion. It's all just a big act. Why? Because I'm breathing. No. If I'm breathing to maintain this body, it means I have no love for Krishna. No. In other words, we breathe to maintain this body. We work, and you know, those of us that work externally, or we work devotionally or externally to maintain this body. We take prasadam to maintain this body. Why? Because we want to serve Krishna. No. Only for that reason. Otherwise, if I breathe and I eat and I sleep without dedicating those activities wholly and only for Krishna, then I have no love for Krishna. If I have love for Krishna, it will be very difficult for me to maintain this body. But I will do it because this body belongs to Krishna. Just like when Sanatana Goswami embraced, when Lord Chaitanya came to embrace Sanatana Goswami, when he had all kinds of sores and were oozing with blood, and Lord Chaitanya embraced him, and when Lord Chaitanya released him, Sanatana Goswami saw these contaminated elements on the body of the Lord. And he said, tomorrow, when the Rath Yatra comes, I will throw this body, this useless body, under the wheel of Lord Jagannath's cart. And Lord Chaitanya told him the next day, that you think this body belongs to you? It belongs to me. I have plans for that body. So we should think in this way. This body belongs to Krishna. And whatever plans that Krishna has for this body, Sri Guru and the Vaishnavas, they will engage this body. And they will tell me what to do with this body, and I will do that. They will tell me what to do with this mind. They will tell me what to do, what words I should speak, and what words I should not speak. Guru, Shastra, Sadhu, they will teach me these things. Otherwise, I have no independence. Even the Lord's devotees, they appear to be distressed sometimes. Just like when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was traveling in South India, he met one Brahmin, a great devotee, totally surrendered to Lord Ramachandra. And this devotee invited him for lunch. And Lord Chaitanya said, oh yeah, I will come tomorrow. So he came. There was no lunch. He saw the Brahmin sitting down with his hands, holding his head in his hands, crying. And so Lord Chaitanya said, where is the lunch? He said, how can I cook when Sita has been stolen by by Ravana? How can I cook? So Lord Chaitanya was very blissful to see how absorbed he was. And we can see how unabsorbed we are. We're thinking, Bhagavatam class is almost over, now I can go have prasadam, and all this suffering in the Bhagavatam, hearing all these things. They're telling me to do what my senses don't want to do. My senses want to do, and I shouldn't do that. My mind wants this. This Bhagavatam is very painful. Now let me go take prasadam. But this devotee couldn't even offer prasadam to Lord Chaitanya. And of course Lord Chaitanya, he went to the Adikeshava temple, and from the Kurma Purana he brought back the section and he showed this devotee that actually Sita, of course he told him beforehand, but then he showed it from Shastra. He wanted to make sure. Otherwise he told him that Sita was never stolen. This was Maya Sita. And the Brahmin cooked. But he wanted, Lord Chaitanya taught us something. You don't just say something, you prove it with Shastra. He came back, and when he passed through here from the Kurma Purana, here is the evidence I told you something. I don't want you to just believe what I tell you. No. I want to support it with Shastra. I want you to understand that this is the truth by Shastra. So therefore, Srila Prabhupada taught us when we preach Krishna consciousness, we speak from Shastra. We don't add anything, we don't subtract anything. We may try to make it relevant, giving some modern examples, or Srila Prabhupada does in this purport. He gives the example of the bumblebee. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives the example of the lotus flower. When the sun is present, the lotus flower laments, because I have to close. But the water lily becomes blissful. And just like in Krishna Lila, when the sun is present, the gopis lament. Krishna is left. This sun is not our friend. Because when the sun is there, we can't see Krishna. When the sun goes away. But for the cowherd boys, the nighttime, we don't like this nighttime. Nighttime, we have to go home and Krishna is not with us. This nighttime is not so good. But this is transcendental rasa. We think nighttime is good because I want to enjoy in the nighttime, or daytime is good because I want to enjoy in the daytime. When we're covered by Maya, we see things in terms of my enjoyment. Everything is good or bad in terms of my enjoyment. But in Krishna consciousness, we see everything is good by Krishna's arrangement, and therefore Chitraketu, he says in this last verse that everything is ordained by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Nothing can happen. I just want to mention one more point, which is in relation to this very quickly, that in the purport, Srila Prabhupada mentions, and of course in this verse also, it mentions that, I'm just trying to find that point, I just saw it. That the living entity appears, Srila Prabhupada says here, that the living entity is the cause of these things, not Krishna. But in a previous verse, in this very chapter, just a few verses before, it says, deluded by ignorance. Where is that verse? In the material world, neither the living entity himself nor others, friends and enemies, are the cause of material happiness and distress. This is a little bewildering, because Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that karyam karana kartitve, that hetur prakritir uchate. Yes, material nature is causing these things, but purusham sarva sukha dukhanam bhoktiktve hetur uchate. But happiness and distress are caused by the living entity. Is the Bhagavatam, why is this apparent contradiction there? The Bhagavatam says this because we think that immediately we're causing something to happen. We think this way. Immediately I'm causing something to happen. No, you caused it to happen previously and you can't even understand why. That is why the Bhagavatam says that the living entity is not the cause. He is the cause of his happiness and distress. But we can't remember why. So therefore we should not think, just like sometimes if we don't like someone, and something bad happens, oh, that's because they offended me. So we think like that. So the Bhagavatam is telling us, no, don't think that the actions of your friends and enemies, the friendship of your friends, or the disregard of your enemies is the cause of something. It is all being caused by you, and you cannot even see that cause. You don't even know why it's happening. That is what the Bhagavatam is saying here. So we don't become thinking that there's some contradiction. There is no contradiction. The only contradiction is in our mind, that we cannot see the completeness of the activities of the living entity, or we cannot see the completeness of Shastra. Shastra says one thing in one circumstance and says something else in another circumstance. We may see it as a contradiction, but it is simply that Shastra is relating the reality of a particular circumstance. So anyway, there are many, many more points and many more things we could say about these verses, but I will stop here. No. And actually we've gone over time, so I think if anybody has a question, they can come up, and I won't entertain questions because I don't want to hold up the devotees. We have so many activities to do, so many things that have to be accomplished for the pleasure of Krishna and the deities and Sri Guru and Gauranga. So if any of you have a question, please come, and I will do my best to try to answer it according to my ability. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanandi. Prabhupada ki jai. Yes.